Hey guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Got something I wanted to bring to you real quick. I got some new grips. I've actually had these for about a week and a half. I just hadn't made a video on them yet. For the new the Shadow 2. These are by Lock Grips. Young man by the name of Jason Deckmar up in Michigan owns and operates this company. You can get a screenshot of it or save it. Many of you may have heard of his grips before. He makes grips for just about all the CZs, Beretta 92s, 1911s. I think he even makes some revolver grips too, but he is extremely fair on his prices. I think these were like 50, 55 bucks. And these are, I mean, custom made grips. They're not, they're made out, I think it's not the micarta, the G10 material. The grips that come with the Shadow are these aluminum, and they're fantastic grips, don't get me wrong. They're beautiful grips. In fact, some of the Shadows even come with them in gray and a blue very similar to this. This one just didn't. This was the midnight, or the murdered, as I like to call it, the murdered out Shadow. But when your hands get wet or sweaty from oil on your body or whatever, these get a little bit slick. And even though I love the look of them, especially missing a couple of digits here, I can't lose my grip at all. And these are called bogies. These bogies, I don't know if the camera will pick that up or not. These little dimples, looks like we're maybe like a little golf ball, obviously where they're milled out in there. They're not painfully sharp, but they're sharp. Big time sharp. And especially if you got calloused hands like I do, I mean, it locks your grip in. I mean, big time. It makes a big difference. They're a tiny bit thicker than the original grips. In fact, the only way I really noticed is right here, the magazine release, this little paddle. There's not quite as much room between the back of the grip and this paddle, which is fine. But as far as actually feeling it, the naked hand, so to speak, just to grab it, you can't tell the difference. If you like a thin grip, which I do, they're fantastic. I love them. And like I said, he makes grips for lots of different guns. So if you're interested in he makes some that are not in colors, that are actually in natural wood, and they're really sharp. But he's got them in this material that's in, I don't know, probably a dozen different colors at least, and they're fantastic. So if you're in the market for some grips at a reasonable price that are fantastic, look him up. He's at Lock Grips. He's fantastic. One other thing I've been meaning to make a video on. In fact, it was actually in the gun the last time I shot the video with this thing, and I didn't bring it up. I don't remember. If you want a little bit, the trigger in these guns from the factory is great. The double action's probably in the ballpark between 9 and 10 pounds. I think the average. It's extremely smooth. I mean, it's very, very smooth. There's no dragginess, no stacking of any kind. If you want it a little bit better, for like 40 bucks, call Cajun Gun Works. Get their extended firing pin, their reduced power firing pin spring, and they send you two different mainsprings. I think one's a 13 or 14 pound, and the other one's either a 10 or 11. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, two springs for the rear to adjust it. For the lightest one being obviously lighter. They're saying somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 pound double action, and I've got the lightest spring in here now, and it is incredibly smooth. The single action, it lightens up a tiny bit, not drastically noticeable, but it does lighten it. The biggest notice is that first pull out of the holster that's double action is probably half again as light as it was, and even smoother. Very, very simple to install. One of these days I would like to send it to Louisiana and let them actually put their entire, them or CZ Custom, whichever one has the least amount of waiting period, probably let them put their entire trigger kit in it, maybe even with an AccuBushing. But I'm not on that level by far yet. I wouldn't even, besides feeling a difference in the trigger, I couldn't begin to I can't do the gun justice now, accuracy wise. So anyway, thought I'd bring those two things to you tonight. I can't talk. Hope everyone is having a great week so far. Had a good Monday. Stay tuned. In the next evening or two, we're going to take this old Glock 43 with this compensator that a lot of people agree and disagree whether or not they should be on a defensive firearm. I'm gonna take take a weenie and we're gonna lay over the top of it, maybe a piece of bologna, kind of simulate some meat, so to speak. If you had to shoot this with a piece of your body part over the top of that pork, what would it do? Would you just get burned? Would it cut you? Would it, you're gonna get a bunch of lead fragments, copper fragments. So just curiosity to see what would happen. Anyway, thanks again, guys, tonight for watching, and I hope everyone has a great evening, and we'll see you next time.